If the children would like to come to the front, and we'll have a bit of story time together. Come on up. It's hard. Come on up. Well, good morning. How was spring break? Did you have fun? Too short. Yeah. I hear you. So this morning, after you go down to Sunday school, Michael's going to be talking to the adults about an event in the Bible that's called the Transfiguration, and it's kind of a big, long, churchy word. But the story is that Jesus went up a mountain with his disciples, and when he was up there was this bright light and clouds, and God spoke to them and said to them all that he was so proud of his son and that he really appreciated and wanted people to listen to him. So I don't know, have you ever had like clouds come down on you and a voice talk to you about? Yeah, I haven't either. Yeah. Usually, that hasn't been my experience. I keep hoping for that, but it hasn't happened. So sometimes you have to sort of look for God in the world. And in this particular story, they describe an image of God as light. But there's lots of other images that we can find, that the Bible tells us we can find God in our everyday life. So this little book kind of helps me out a bit. And so there's a few things, this is quite long and I won't read it all, but there's a few places that we might look for God in our everyday lives. And the first one is, God is breath. God is the strong wind that shapes the earth and the sea and makes the stars shine to the farthest edge of the heavens. God is the breath of all living creatures, the breeze that stirs their hearts, that refreshes their souls and renews their spirits. Kind of cool, huh? God is beauty, the mountain peaks and the great depths of the sea, the light of day and the shadows of night, the marvelous birds and fabulous fish, the multitudes of trees, of plants, and of animals. All these splendors are just a tiny reflection of the beauty of God. But perhaps what reflects God's beauty the best is the expression of people who love and who hope and who work to make life beautiful. Kind of cool. God is mystery. God is present everywhere, and yet some say that God is not here at all. God reigns over the world with God's love, and yet the world is full of sadness and misery. God wants us to know him, and yet God doesn't show himself to us. God is completely unlike us, and yet makes us in his image. But because God is a mystery, we have to work hard to understand who God is. God is wind. The wind is free. It blows where it wants. So does the Spirit of God. The wind sweeps up seeds that are waiting to sprout wherever they fall, all over the earth. And in the same way, God sows his word in the heart of each of us. Let's see what other one. God is a rock. I always like this one. Rocks are hard. They are solid and they support anything that is built on them. A house, a strong castle, and you can stay standing on a rock without ever fearing that you'll sink into it. One I think we're thinking about right now, God is a spring. No one can live without water. As our souls are thirsty for water, our souls are thirsty for love and for beauty and for goodness and for justice and for truth. God is all of these things and more. God is the source of all these things, and God invites us to drink from the spring. And the one that Michael's going to be talking about is God is light. God is light so dazzling that our eyes cannot look at it. But the beauty of each day, the rays of the sun, the kindness and the joy that lights up a face, the hope and the happiness that brightens our days, all these reflect a little of God's light. So that's just a little kind of coach to let you think about where you might see God every day and recognize God as you're going through your daily lives. So thank you for coming and listening to this. If you want to read more in the book, it's a pretty good book. And Darren's waiting at the door, and so you can go down with him, and the youth are going to go down with Katie right now. So have a good time downstairs.